Right guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and it seems the OpTic guys simply cannot help hinting towards the OpTic Dallas team, which supposedly is just around the corner. But also, could Methodz have been leaked back to a starting team for CDL 2022? Very much intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, this from Scump, Vanguard needs to drop already. So much talk about this really lately from the likes of Illy as well, saying like, I can't wait to get back in a scrim. He just loves playing Call of Duty. Of course, well, still, November the 5th is the date to look for, right, when this game does indeed come out. But also some talk about it, well, you know, lately in Call of Duty, we don't just talk about one COD at a time, we talk about two, because after this one comes out next year, it's going to be Infinity Ward Mack on the menu. What will they deliver? Supposedly, that's going to be something which maybe the competitive scene won't necessarily enjoy too much. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Of course, last night, the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight was on, and yeah, people are talking about, well, Ghost right here, Crim versus Fury, kind of, well, racking it up on the both sides. Of course, Crim versus Myth is kind of the thing we've all been discussing, right? Keyboard, you know, keyboard and mouse versus controller. And I do wonder, like, I remember, like, an ESWC event, you guys might remember this, it might be 2015, 2016, back in the day, when there was an ESWC going on in France, and for whatever reason, before the Call of Duty matches could be played on the Championship Sunday on main stage, there was, like, a Just Dance tournament going on, and it delayed everything by a couple of hours, and, yeah, kind of, because it kind of overran or something. So I do wonder if Crimsix and co, let's say New York have a bye or something on day one, maybe Crim versus Myth could be a nice warm-up fight or something. I'm sure the pay-per-view would go pretty nutty. But, well, this is how we want beefs to be settled, really, in the Call of Duty scene. So, yeah, Myth versus Crim potentially could still be in the older cards. Crim's certainly been talking about it, whether Myth is still down. That remains to be seen. But, well, there's been some talk about this then, right? Because, of course, this upcoming title is going to be Call of Duty Vanguard. We've known about that for quite some time. Next year's title, who really knows? The theory is going right now that, of course, Modern Warfare was very, very popular indeed with the more casual player base. But for the competitive players, they weren't such a big fan, and understandably so. Domination, 5v5, like, the maps weren't great, and yeah, a fair few other reasons. Dead Silence, for example, not being a thing. Just, yeah, it could have been a better game for competitive play. I think a lot of the pros would say that one. So, of course, the question is, will they just copy and paste Modern Warfare 2019 into Modern Warfare 2022? This clip did come out where they was kind of discussing, this guy was kind of saying, like, are you just going to call it Modern Warfare 2? Like, is that possible? The guy on the other side says, you know, we'll figure something out. Roman numerals solve everything, says Tom Henderson, because, well, this supposedly is going to be the name of the title. After seeing artwork material already, Tom Henderson has now fully confirmed next year's Call of Duty from Infinity Ward will be titled Modern Warfare 2, but with the II. So it's a completely different title to Modern Warfare 2 that was released several years ago, which is, it's certainly, well, has put a matter up for debate, to be honest, right? Because if Modern Warfare has, of course, come out already, and people are like, okay, wow, Modern Warfare, you've just copied, like, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare from back in the day, but technically, it's a different title. You know, the Call of Duty that came out in such a legendary one back in 2009, I guess, was Modern Warfare 2 with a 2, and now we've got Modern Warfare 2 with II, and that's coming out, you know, I guess 13 years later or so. So, look, I don't really know what to think about this. I think some people might be somewhat frustrated because initially Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered is being discussed, right? And, you know, while the market is still there, as Modern Warfare 2 Ghost is suggesting right here, like, you know, multiplayer, I'm pretty sure they already remastered the campaign for Modern Warfare 2, but if they're doing the multiplayer, they probably better release that soon before next year's title comes out and actually kind of maybe wipes off people who are interested in that. So it's tough to say. I think a lot of people who have maybe played Modern Warfare 2 back in the day and are really OG Call of Duty players will be somewhat frustrated that they're just, you know, straight up copy and pasting the name of that game and coming into this one, and maybe just copy and pasting Modern Warfare 2019. So I'm not exactly particularly confident in its potential here for competitive play. I suppose it remains to be seen quite how good it will be. As Charlie Intel said this before, I'll say it again, everything I've heard about the game is incredible so far, which, I mean, they always say this type of stuff, right? No, I don't know, like, it just feels like I've certainly heard this one before, but, yeah, the perspective of the competitive scene might not be quite so good, as it says, right, if it's bad, it could be the final straw, right, for either, you know, Call of Duty in general or competitive play or whatever the case might be, because it was tough to deal with. Hopefully we get a good title this year, we can suffer through Modern Warfare 2 or whatever it's going to be called, and then the trade game comes after that to deliver a good job as well. But yeah, it's always exciting, the fact that there is a new game every year. Like, this is always the big discussion in Call of Duty, right? Like, should we have games that last, you know, the test of time? Should there just be one set competitive title? Like, I think that if there was, I think it would get stale after a while. And also, like, what if the title we end up playing on is, like, bad or something? Like, if there's, like, a 2-year, 3-year cycle for the CDL, and we're not playing the current game for every single year, then, yeah, the reduces, well, maybe, like, if you play a bad game, you're stuck with it for quite a while, right? So at least, if it is a bad game, you're only stuck with it for a year or so. But, I mean, still, I suppose it remains to be seen how this will go. This then from Shotzzy, right? Because a lot of talk these last few days, when the leaks have been coming out and hitting the table left, right and center about whether OpTic Dallas is going to be a thing. This clip, first of all, is absolutely ridiculous here on here in Warzone. Like, I mean, Shotzzy is just making absolutely incredible finesses right here. One thing you might notice is that what he's wearing right here, this hoodie, is not the same Champs t-shirt that he was pictured wearing a lot on streamers of late, and then was seen kind of in the background of the Hex Quarters supposedly wearing. I don't imagine he's worn that t-shirt since he was kind of spotted at the Hex Quarters, if of course that is him, that we looked at a few days ago. But of course this tweet, that, well, the way he says the caption is very telling, potentially. Mario saving Peach be like. Now, is this just a mad coincidence that he's calling himself Mario, or at least describing the clip as such, and Hitch saying a few days ago in reply to this image that came out from the Hex Quarters that was Mario in the background. So this, of course, is what came out. If you guys missed it, there was a episode with Big Time, where you can see all the way in the left-hand side of the background, you've got Shotzzy kind of hiding away. Is this actually Shotzzy? People were trying to figure out whether it was the case. We looked at the t-shirts and kind of tracked down, yes, okay, this probably is Shotzzy in the background. It does indeed make sense. But Hitch came back in reply to Jake Lucky and said, nah, that's not even him, that is straight up Mario in the background. I'm pretty sure he went on to clarify this on the flank and just said, yeah, that's like Hex's friend Mario or whatever. And maybe the plumber or something. And anyway, it was obviously tongue-in-cheek, but Hitch didn't really let too much on. And now we've got Shotzzy coming out with this crazy clip in Warzone saying that yeah, that's Mario saving Peach, right? So it's like, can these lads just stop baiting absolutely everything? I don't know how long it's going to take them to announce this stuff, but every single day at this point, there's people hinting about this move, and it's like, okay, we know what the roster's going to be. We're waiting for the announcement. I don't know, let's just get the job done. Maybe they're still figuring things out on the whole merger side. I guess that would kind of make sense if they're still figuring out how exactly they work, the OpTic Envy merger type stuff, and therefore it's going to take them a while till they do the actual announcement. Pretty sure Benjay and Asim said on the flank it could be end October sometime, which to be fair would even be earlier than it was last year. But just because everyone's talking about it so much every single day at this point, I don't know, if it were me, I'd maybe bring it forward a little bit. I'm not really sure what they're going to decide to do. But maybe there's other things to figure out, right? Maybe they don't just want to announce the starting team. Maybe they want to also announce what the coaching staff's going to be, how that's going to work. Are they bringing Sender on? Have they got anyone else coming in as an analyst or as an assistant coach or stuff like that? It's difficult to say. I guess we'll find out over time and in due course. This also, though, from Methodz that came out yesterday, I thought was particularly interesting, as he says, that is not right. So him and Scump and the boys run into, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman, Cloaksy and co in the Warzone lobby, and of course this is pretty entertaining stuff. But anyway, Methodz manages to take him down, does a pretty good job, and what Cloaksy has to say is pretty interesting. There's a couple of explanations for this, of course, so as we'll see as this goes, Scumpy and Zuma, Methodz and co playing this one and taking him down, and yeah, pretty entertaining clip regardless. But yeah, at the end, Cloaksy's kind of like, look, because you took me down or whatever, I'll call up the CDL and get you benched once again. So whether Cloaksy knows something we don't in terms of benched once again, meaning that Methodz is now back on a starting team, or whether he's just not fully aware of the situation and thinks that Methodz maybe is still in the CDL despite getting benched last year as well. The body gets shot right here. But anyway, as he says, I'm head up the CDL and get him benched again. I'm done with this, this absolute trash or whatever. So that's kind of what Cloaksy has to say. Whether whether this is actually indicative of something, it is somewhat difficult to say. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, how they were kind of trying to roast Methodz at the end after he took them down. But yeah, regardless, that's the thing with Methodz, right? We've kind of been wondering whether he is going to get a spot on a team next year, if he wants it, of course, because he's been killing it on the stream side lately. Maybe he's not even considering it, right? You can look at a guy like Tarek in Counter-Strike, who was in Counter-Strike, and is now thinking, okay, does he go to Valorant? Does he stay competing in CS, or what's he thinking? But then he's killing it on the stream, and he's like, okay, well, maybe I don't even need to do either of those if this is a more enjoyable lifestyle for now than grinding and having all that pressure on you. But still, if Washington do come along, if they do buy the Chicago spot and say, yes, Methodz, let's have a spot, it's possible Closely could know about that, and that's why he's kind of saying get you benched again, as if he's actually been signed already to a starting team somewhere. But maybe if that was the case, Methodz might not necessarily have put it straight up in this video. Just wanted to mention this as well for Joey Dubsy, me wanting to coach Octane versus me coaching Octane after Joey, of course, in a difficult spot, trying to get a spot next year as a coach somewhere for one of these rosters. It's certainly still possible. It's just tough, right? Because there's been some coach mania going on, Revan going back to where he started on New York, and I don't know, it's really difficult to figure out what these guys are going to do, right, with no expansion coming into play quite as of yet. I just wanted to finish off with this pretty interesting statistic here from the Call of Duty League. Iciest round 11 search and destroy teams for the 2021 season. Subliners at 50%, OpTic at 53%, Guerrillas, Ultra, and then Dallas Empire at 79%. There was a time they were 9-0, or I don't know how far they got in their streak, but they got to 8, 9 round 11s in a row, one before they even lost one. So they did really, really well. To be fair, a lot of these were game 5s as well. If Empire, they might have had a very different season if they lost a few more of these round 11s. Kind of funny that FaZe isn't even here. They generally lost more round 11s than they won, but they rarely went to a round 11, right? Usually they're bopping teams, 6061 and stuff, but if they did go round Levin, that is your chance to take them down. But very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoy this content, other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
Incoming! Enemy soldier! Está un tiro!